Hey everybody, James Arnold Taylor here at Star Wars Celebration for StarWars.com, and we are with Mark Hamill. Mark, we just had a great time out there to a full house.
Amazing.
I'm guessing at least 5,000 people.
Really?
On the Celebration main stage, and it was such a great time, and we were talking about how the time went by so fast.
Incredible. I mean, I would have guessed we were out there about 25 minutes.
Oh really? Yeah, no.
I thought I had so much more time. What's extraordinary is it's so electric, the energy coming from the crowd, just that passion they have and the enthusiasm. It's palpable. It's goosebump inducing. It really is something.
And all the lightsabers going.
Oh
and
my
there was
gosh.
so much love for you too. Though.
Yeah.
That never gets old, does it?
No, of course not. Are you kidding me? I mean, I thought, where were these guys when my last Broadway show tanked?
Well, you know, I want to ask you something. I was recently at a theater in Los Angeles where Jason Reitman did a production of Empire Strikes Back.
Were you there that night?
I was there down in the front,
and
it was an amazing thing.
Yeah.
And then they're bringing out all these fantastic actors. You had Kevin Pollak, you had J.K. Simmons, you had Stephen Merchant. Who, boy,
he was fantastic. Dennis Haysbert.
Dennis Haysbert.
Yeah.
You had all these great people. And then, as the special surprise guest, you came out, and that place, there must have been a 4-minute standing ovation. People went
was
insane.
incredible, and it was so last minute. I think he asked me the day before.
Is that right?
Yeah, and I wasn't playing Luke. That was Aaron Paul.
Yep, Aaron Paul.
And I said, "What do you want me to do?" And he said, "Well, will you play the Emperor?" And my son. See, I'm sort of out of touch. I have to figure out from my kids what's going on in the world. You know, my daughter helps me Twitter and all that.
Yeah.
But they said, "Oh, Dad, they do these readings. They did this film and that film and that film. You should do it." You know, and I said, "Well, okay. You know, it's certainly an interesting
proposition."
Yeah. I mean, also to play the Emperor, and I was curious at how it would read. I forgot not only how funny that movie is, because it seems like the darkest of the three that I was involved in.
Sure.
But and I forgot how verbose 3PO is in it.
Oh yeah.
He has so many lines.
Great lines. And when you hear Stephen Merchant to him.
Oh my God. He just ran with it. I just thought everybody did a great job. And
well, you were fantastic.
Well, Aaron Paul said, I was so nervous doing your part. And I said, listen, and I believe this, like any good actor, he totally owned it. He made it his own. He wasn't imitating me in any way. No. It was really interesting to hear it play like a radio play.
It absolutely was a radio play, and it was fantastic.
And it shows you how it holds up without the special effects.
Sure, just music.
Yes, exactly.
Now, you brought up your son, Nathan.
Yes.
So now, there were some photos we really wanted to show.
Right.
And we ran out of time.
During the show tonight.
But we're going to show them here on StarWars.com.
Oh, great.
Exclusively then, really, too, which is very cool.
Right.
So can you tell us about some of these photos and
the
time period?
Exactly. Well, Nathan was born September 25th, 1979, when I was still in England doing The Empire Strikes Back. So he had a British passport and an American passport. And so the years go by, and like your daughter, she thinks all daddies do voiceover.
Exactly right.
And all daddies go out in front of crowds and host talk shows and so forth. They just don't know any differently.
Right.
So Nathan thought the same thing, and you know, I did the Muppet Show, and he was able to play in the Muppet Workshop. You know, they're so nice over there. They have anything Muppets where you can put the, you know, Velcro eyeballs on, make your own, and they would do Piggy and all of the characters for him, and he was a mad Muppet fan. And of course, by that time, he had become really, really a Star Wars fan.
Yeah.
And I'm telling you, he wasn't even 3 years old. He probably doesn't even remember it as much as these pictures will bring it back to him. And I remember him, I said, oh, let's pose Nathan in the Rancor hand, because they had the giant hand.
Yeah.
By the way, one of my childhood dreams come true, because one of my favorite all-time movies was the original King Kong.
Sure.
And, you know, they had the prop hand that Fay Ray was in and so forth. So, you know, I had these visions of, I'm living all my fantasies out, because, you know, I'm in this movie where they have stop frame animation like Ray Harryhausen and the Tauntaun and all this. And the Rancor hand, so we pose little Nathan in this big giant hand, and you know, he's totally unaware and just
It's a
his
great
own little
shot.
self. Yeah, it is. But what I forgot about, because Mary Lou was going through all of these pictures in preparation for the show, he said, maybe we should ask if James wants to have a section of the show where we show these, because I had forgotten he put on an Ewok head, and he's in the Emperor's throne room. He's all over that set.
Yeah.
And I'm telling you, because you wonder what it must be like to be processing all this at that age. Because on the one hand, he knows it's make-believe. On the other hand, he's watching the Muppets where they used split screen, and I played twins.
Yep.
To Mark
Two
and
different
Luke.
Marks, yeah.
And he was really confused. Like maybe there were two dads.
What does he do now? Looking back at those photos now, does that get anything to him? Does he remember?
Well,
any
first
or-
of all, of our three children, he's the biggest Star Wars fan. He still is. In fact, when I get material, when they send me items and so forth, I immediately give them to Nathan, because he will archive. He lists the categories,
Really?
he writes it all down, and archives it like a museum curator.
That's great.
And he knows much more about it. He
Yeah.
reads, Star Wars Insider and so forth like that. So, I mean, I really use him to keep me up to speed. But I have a feeling if we had him here tonight, he wouldn't. I mean, do you remember when you were 3?
I remember when I was 4.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's hard to
I
remember.
think
I'm sure you don't
really
remember as
vague,
well. No.
misty memories. But
And what's he doing now? He's pretty talented.
well,
artist himself.
he worked for about 12 years for Matt Groening at Bongo Comics.
Yeah, pretty great.
Which is ironic, because I remember saying when he was in high school, I said, Nathan, if you had a mind for actual academics that you have for Simpsons minutia, you might get decent grades, And I said, knowing all of this incredible trivia is not going to get you anywhere in the business
You
world.
said that?
I know. I
Come
should have
on.
known better, because once he started working for the Matt Groening, one of the first things he worked on was the Simpsons trivia calendar.
Of course.
But he's got this idiot savant ability to say, because I remember plot lines, but since there's so many non sequitur jokes and so
Sure.
forth, I can't put it all together. I remember I was there the day, I was visiting him the day Matt Groening stuck his head in the door and goes, Nathan, what was the episode where Barney had his first beer? And Nathan could name the name of the episode and what it was
Really?
about.
The time it was in the episode. all that
Exactly.
stuff. Oh,
I mean,
man.
he's incredible. So, but
He's a great guy.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
thank you for sharing those photos. And again, we had them here now, and we get to see them on StarWars.com, and
Great.
they'll live on and live on. People can
Great.
go back and look at them. But now, I know you can't say much about The Force Awakens,
Right.
but I do have to ask you how it felt to return to this character, because this is not done that often, where somebody portrays a character and then years later comes back to portray it again. Is that interesting? Is it fun? Is it a challenge? Is it terrifying? Where does it
it's
fall?
all those things
Yeah.
and more. I mean, they're very kindly calling us legacy characters, which is a nice way of saying old timers.
No.
But no, George, I know, really sort of had that in his head. He later said, "Oh, I was just, it was just idle chit chat." But I remember sometime in North Africa, in the first couple of weeks of production of the first Star Wars films, he said, "Hey, what would you think about coming back in episode, I forget what it was, 9, 10, 11, 12, and doing a cameo and handing Excalibur down to the next New Hope?" And I remember saying, "When would this be?" Now, mind you, this is summer of '76. He goes, like 2011. And I said, "I defy anyone to add 38 years to their own age and not be shocked.
Yeah.
Even if you're 10 or 1 or whatever, your age plus 38 is a shock."
Absolutely.
So I sort of was doing the math. I go, "Oh my God, I'll be in my late 50s. But actors, we don't
Sure.
want to,
You know what?
turn down a job's a job, baby.
Sure. No, absolutely.
So, a little security there. I said, "Well, of course I'm loyal to George. I'd do anything he'd asked of me." So, I mean, but I didn't take it seriously. I think he liked the idea, the continuity of seeing characters that were really young, and Luke was supposed to be 17, 18 in the first one.
Right.
To see that progression to where by the time I did episode 7, I was the exact age that Alec Guinness was. Because we celebrated his birthday in Tunisia. There's that
Is that
picture
right?
of us all toasting.
that's so great.
Yeah, when he turned 62. So,
And you had the beard. You had kind of the Obi-Wan beard.
I know,
stuff.
and that's another thing. I like beards on other people. But I'm
The
not.
same way.
I'm not a beard person, and it takes me forever to grow one. And then every sip of anything you have
you've
to
got to-
blot. It's and then I'd be asleep and my hand would brush. Oh, I think a raccoon had gotten through the dog door, or a homeless person had wandered into the bedroom. I was never used to having a beard, even when I had
Even
it.
your own,
Yeah.
yes.
And then going back, it was just such an incredible wash of nostalgia. I mean, now that it's established that the Millennium Falcon is in it, we walked on to the Millennium Falcon, my whole family, and I'm telling you, it's like going back to your old high school, not even high school, your grade school, where you're so far past it, where you have memories of what it used to be like, and there it is reproduced down to the smallest detail. Wow. I just couldn't believe it. I went and sat in the, where they played the hologram chess game, and where I was training with the shield. I mean, it was unbelievable. It's even unbelievable to me now.
Wow. Yeah. Well, it's unbelievable for all of us, but it's so exciting that we get to experience this. So thank you, because what an amazing time. We got to look at the trailer again, and they just exploded every time. We're excited.
That something?
I'm excited that people, we've been talking with people, and it doesn't seem that they necessarily want a bunch more. They love the fact that these are teaser trailers.
Yeah.
It doesn't give it away, and you and I have talked about that before. It's great to walk in and be surprised.
I think so. I don't understand this desire of people to leak things. I don't like knowing what's going to happen. I've seen trailers where I go, they've shown so much. I don't understand it, because I don't like that, me personally. In other words, if somebody leaked me the script of the next Jurassic Park, as much as I want to see it, I wouldn't read it because I'd want to see it.
You want to see it, experience it.
Harrison said, hey, would you read this Raiders of the Lost Ark? I want to get your opinion. So I started reading this thing, and I got to about page 4 where he's being chased by all of the
Jovitos.
Oh yeah, throwing spears at him. I said, well, what am I doing? I said, I'm ruining this. I said, no, first of all, it's Steven Spielberg. The first 4 pages are riveting.
Yeah.
You've got to do this. I mean, I'm not that he was thinking of not doing it, but I had to stop, because I said, I can't wait to see this thing, and if I'm not going to be in it, I'm not going to read it.
That's fantastic.
So don't read stuff on the internet. I'll tell you something.
Stay away from that.
I think the fans, it's like a competition where they feel like we're playing a game or teasing them or something, and we're not. I liken it to trying to plan a surprise birthday party or something. We want you to have fun seeing it in the movies rather than seeing it on the internet.
Exactly. Be surprised.
It'll be more fun.
It will be more fun.
Yeah.
In fact, we could use the Jedi mind trick to wipe their brains and say,
this isn't the trailer you're looking at.
That's right. Move along. Move along. Well, we probably should move along and let you get back to things, but thank you so much for spending time with us here on the main stage and backstage. Mark, it is always a pleasure.
Yeah,
And we just are
fun,
looking forward to this next year. So
fun.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you.